Tuesday last at 11:30, a drunken Burmese merchant named U Bat had had his throat opened all over his white suit, not 50 paces from the veranda of the club where Florry, nursing his 5th gin of the night, had sat trying to write Georgian poetry in the lamplight, amid moths and fancies. Only slightly drunk, the young officer had rushed to the still form in the dust as a smaller, quicker shape had dashed by him. Perhaps, it was being said in certain quarters, a man with more wit about him, or less gin in him, would have made the pinch right there. But Florry, stunned by the suddenness with which the violence had occurred, and a little dotty not only with drink but also with dreams of literature, and then still further staggered by his first exposure to the gaudy wreckage of a human body soaking in its own blood in the dust, had let the villain slip away in the shadows of an alley. A manhunt, organised rather like a tiger drive, had come upon the naked Benny Lal, sleeping in blissful abandon by the side of the road a few miles away early the next morning. It developed swiftly, under blunt methods of investigation, that he had once been a houseboy in the domicile of U Bat and a frequent target of the drunken merchant's weekly rages. Under questioning, Benny Lal, idiot child of the East, neither confessed nor defended himself. He merely smiled pleasantly at everybody and tried not to offend the British. Was he, in fact, the guilty party? If Florry could not really say yes, neither could he really say no. Yet he could not say nothing. These were tricky times, it had been explained to him by a fellow in the intelligence department. Already ugly rumours were afoot. The British themselves, it was said, had been behind the slaying. U Bat, in certain quarters, was being inflated into some kind of nationalist saint, not the black brute he'd been in reality. It would do, the chap explained, with sweet reason and abundant charm on his side, it would do to be done with this matter quickly. It was a duty. Sometimes one had to see the bigger picture. "You're certain, then?" said the magistrate. "I am sure, sir. Yes, sir, I am," said Florry, in a clear, unwavering voice. "Mr. Gupta, have you any questions?" Mr. Gupta, who had been fanning himself this long time, at last arose. He was a tiny Hindu lawyer, up at no fee save mischief from Rangoon to speak for Benny Lal. He offered Florry a broad, extremely pleasant smile. "How much, Constable Florry, would you—" Conscious of the contest and eager not to fall behind from the start, Florry corrected the man. "Assistant Superintendent, please," he said. And in the instant he said it, realised he'd been snookered. "Oh," said the lawyer, in mock astonishment. "Oh, I am begging the officer's pardon," his smile radiating heat. "Oh, I am so sorry of the mistake. Then you have received so recently a promotion for duties of spectacular success." "I don't see what the devil Florry began, with an extra measure of Sahib's bluster, but the sudden swell of bright laughter from the unsympathetic Hindus in the back of the courtroom drowned him out. "Mr. Gupta, the bench does not quite see what relevance the Assistant Superintendent's recent promotion has to do with the facts at issue," said the magistrate coolly. "I meant no disrespect, your honoured self. A simple mistake, in which no harm was meant, nor even intended or implied. I congratulate the new assistant. If I have it right, over the year, the difference in moneys is about £100. Is that not so?" "Perhaps the counsel could explain what relevance to the case of the accused is meant by this?" the magistrate requested. Apologies, many and profuse," said Gupta, his cynicism as broad as his smile. "I only mean it to remark on the fortune of some and the misfortune of others in this cruel world. I mean never to imply or infer any kind of payment for services "Now see here," began Florry. "Mr. Gupta, your client's case will not be helped by impertinence. Indeed, it will most likely be harmed. Then the subject of money shall be forever avoided from this moment onward. Now, Mr. Assistant Superintendent, I understand that you are a poet. Is that not correct?" Florry squirmed. He was a tall man, or boy, actually, 23, with a long, thin face, sandy hair, and a husky, big-boned body. He looked strong and English, and a bit too decent for anybody's good. He was an Eton boy, though he'd been wretched there, but of an odd English class. The son of an India Company clerk, he'd gone to his fancy school on account of having been at one time thought promising. He was in service because no university would have him, after a disastrous finish to his years at the college.